Hello, my name is Joe Sabia, 2006 Boston College alum. It is my privilege to be interviewing Coach Tom Coughlin from his home this morning. Since 1991, Boston College's Wall Street Business Leadership Council has hosted its annual tribute dinner in New York City. The event has raised more than $50 million to support the Gabelli Presidential Scholars Program, which provides scholarships to some of BC's most accomplished students. The event also includes the awarding of the Presidential Medal for Excellence, given to an individual who embodies the BC motto, ever to excel, in their career and in their life. This year's honoree is Coach Tom Coughlin, former NFL head coach, who was part of 3 New York Giants Super Bowl winning teams. But BC alumni will always remember Coach Tom as coach of the Eagles from 1991 to 1993. He and his wife, Judy, founded the Tom Coughlin J Fund Foundation over 25 years ago in memory of BC safety Jay McGillis. This fund provides comprehensive financial, emotional, and practical support to families tackling childhood cancer. Coach, so excited to be here with you this morning. How are you feeling?
Great, Joe. Thank you. Good to be here.
Okay, so we know why you're here. Why am I here? I do this interview series called 73 Questions on Vogue, where I'm behind the camera going through celebrities' homes, asking them 73 questions. I don't know if you're a fan. Hopefully.
I never heard of it, but I'm all with it.
All right. Well, I know the links I'm going to be sending you after this interview.
Like the perfect guy for that kind of deal.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Today, we decided to call an audible to tackle this another way. Instead of this being for Vogue, this will be for the BC Wall Street Leadership Council to raise awareness for a very good cause, your J Fund Foundation. Instead of me being behind the camera, I'm going to be on camera. And instead of 73 questions, we're going to make it 31 questions. And that's going to be a number that has a significance that we're going to get to in a little bit. So,
very good.
Coach, time on the clock, 31 questions. You ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go. What was your pre-interview routine this morning?
We tried to pull it all together because I'm not a techie. I've done many Zooms where they just had the voice. And I told people they were fortunate they didn't have to look at this mug. So there you go.
Well, I'm happy to be seeing it. And what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Usually I'll have a bowl of cereal with a banana and that kind of thing.
Okay, now what was your pregame routine when you were a head coach?
I'd get an early morning treadmill workout in, say at 7 o'clock. And then I would dress and then go to the stadium and I would review my notes, and then the coaches and the players would come in, and I'd be spending time with them and trying to get a feel for what the way the energy was in the room and what we were about to accomplish on the field.
Now, the way that others describe your coaching style, would you agree with the way they describe it?
My coaching style is firm, fair, honest, and demanding, and that's the way I've always been.
What is your favorite drill to coach?
My favorite drill was the inside run drill I called it 9-on-7. It gave you the idea that it was a very physical drill and people had to prepare themselves mentally for that drill.
Great. And how would you discipline players at practice?
Discipline for me was maybe I'd pull a player out of a drill and talk to him and then insert him back in. You know, you tried to not necessarily embarrass the player, but make the player realize that the greatest game of all is the sport of football. And it's because 11 of us have to work together as one. Otherwise, we're not going to be successful.
What's a good piece of advice for anyone, any player in that high pressured situation?
Well, it's very simple. Make sure that you understand what you're going into and prepare. Preparation is the key to success. There's no way around it.
What 3 characteristics are inside a great quarterback?
Winning, leadership, charisma.
I'm going to ask you a true or false question. After the Super Bowl in 2007, you had a pre-planned dentist appointment the next day. True or false?
True.
True.
And I kept it. So I left Giant Stadium with 35,000 people in there, got in my car and went and got my teeth cleaned.
Now, if you could coach any other sport other than football, what would it be?
I'd probably be basketball.
Now, I've got $10 on you coming out of retirement to coach in the XFL. Should I expect to earn money on this or to lose every penny?
Probably going to lose $10. Yeah.
Just checking. It's time for show and tell. Can you show me an award that you were most proud to receive and hold it right up for the camera?
I received a gift, or present, if you will, from my daughter, Kelly. It's just a rock that's painted.
A little bit higher. There we go.
It's a rock that's painted.
Oh, sweet.
All right. And it says, "You're very special, Daddy." And that's been with me as a paperweight, been on in my bookshelf for as long as I can remember.
That's really sweet. What 4 coaches are on your Mount Rushmore of sports?
Vince Lombardi, John Wooden. I'm going to put Bill Russell on there. You know, the 4th spot, Bill Belichick, Tony La Russa. It's very difficult for me to get that 4th spot, so I mentioned a couple of other names.
All right. Now, what's the first professional sports team you watched when you were a kid? What memory do you have?
Cleveland Browns.
Who is the strongest Avenger? Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, or Captain America?
You're unbelievable. For me, Captain America. Who else? Let's go.
All right, I agree with you on that one. Now, what are 3 words that your former players on the Giants would use to describe you?
Well, I would just say real simply that he does care.
Now, what are 3 words that you would use to describe the BC community?
And I love Boston College. I had a great time there. I just felt that I was right at home where I should be when I was at Boston College. I always believed in that service above self. And that applies so strongly to football, to your team, you know, because you have to understand that it's not about any individual. It's about a team, and teams win championships.
Right. Now, do you think the Eagles would have won a national championship if you had stayed at Boston College?
Yes.
Good, because I had $10 on that too.
You won that $10, Joe.
Would have made up for the other bad bet. What were your favorite high schools to recruit from at Boston College, and why?
My favorite high schools to recruit from were the high schools that had the best football players.
What is your favorite Boston restaurant, and what do you order?
I'm not going to say restaurant. That's not fair. But what I will say is the North End, and I'm going for pasta. You name it.
Can you say something nice about your rival, the Patriots?
No.
What do you think was a more significant ending to a football game you coached in? The Doug Flutie Hail Mary pass at Boston College, or the helmet catch in Super Bowl 42 versus the Patriots?
Now, I want to straighten you out on this one, Joe, because I wasn't there for the Flutie miracle pass. I had left. I was there for Doug's first 3 years, and I loved coaching him, and he's a great player. He could do anything you want him to do, even from the time he was a freshman. He could just pick it up. And he had it, you know, he just had it. He was one of those guys, great ability.
Yes.
Just very creative, you know, could do things like I can remember going to Texas A&M when he was a sophomore. And so when you ask me the difference between the two, obviously the helmet catch by David Tyree did not win the game. It gave us a chance to win the game. The helmet catch.
Helmet catch. All right. Can you name what you believe are a few important values of the Jesuit education here at Boston College?
I mean, the Jesuits are all about education, all about involvement, all about physical conditioning. You know, everybody on campus has to be involved in some kind of a program, intramural program or whatever. I love that about it. But I just love the nature of when you walk on campus, the positiveness on that campus and the belief that the Jesuits had and that the students and the professors had about the quality of the education, about there was no other place on earth like Boston College, was just so incredibly positive and reinforcing for me.
I completely agree. I definitely felt that too. Now, being in the Boston region, Boston College, I'm sure you have really refined your Boston accent. Can you demonstrate a little bit of a Boston accent for us?
No, I parked my car somewhere close by, so I didn't have to walk as far. And I can say something nice about the Patriots. I was just kidding there. Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, and there's no question about that in my mind.
I had a chance to fist bump him when I was at his house for 73 questions interviewing Giselle, and he shows up.
Really?
Good. See you later, Tom Brady. All right, before we go on to the next questions, can you show me another photo? Because you have so much going on behind you. Is there any other photo you want to maybe?
Well, I have a photo right here of my first Boston College. This was 1991, my first Boston College team. This was training camp, all right? And this was the picture of the kids from Brockton, Massachusetts. And you see here, the great thing about it is number 31 is Jay McGillis. Yeah. And my left hand is on his shoulder pad, and that's the 1991 Super Bowl championship, New York Giants over Buffalo Bills Super Bowl ring.
Wonderful. You show Jay McGillis wearing the number 31. That's a beautiful tie-in to the next question. Why am I asking you 31 questions instead of 73? Can you explain?
You're asking me 31 questions because Jay McGillis's number was 31. The Tom Coughlin J Fund Foundation number, if you will, the prestigious number that appears with every picture of a young person in the J Fund emblem, has number 31. So there is great significance in our family, okay? And then the J Fund Foundation for the number 31.
Yeah, and Jay, of course, so sadly passed away so young. Can you share a story about the first time that you met him?
First time I met Jay McGillis, I had taken the job at Boston College. I had coached through the Super Bowl. So I got back to the university, early February, after having coached all the way through and recruited and done all those things. But the off-season program had already begun. So I remember walking into the facility, the Flynn facility, and watching this redheaded kid run around the track and then stop and unload his lunch, then run around the track a little bit more. But that was my first introduction. I didn't know who anybody was, but I remember the redheaded Jay McGillis.
He seemed really unique. He seemed like he had such a rare intensity. And what made you feel so connected to him as you got to know him more?
Well, because he's the ultimate overachiever. He was a good student. He was a great person. He was a great teammate. You know, he always fulfilled his responsibilities. He never left anything short. He studied the game. He was a good hitter. He came from a great family. Mom and dad were wonderful, wonderful people. So, I mean, it was easy to love a kid like that. And you're connected so strongly when you're a member of a team. And when a member of your team gets sick, then all of his teammates and his coaches and his university rallied around Jay McGillis to offer their support and to be there for the family. And those are the things that I witnessed. Judy and I both witnessed as we went through that terrible time. Jay was diagnosed in November and he was gone the following July 3rd, 1992. That's how ravaging the disease was.
Now, you mentioned Judy, your wonderful wife, Judy, passed away 6 months ago. What is your favorite memory of the time that you spent with her?
I have all kinds of memories. But I was trying to think of something significant. And I recall a picture of Judy being in the stands in Glendale, Arizona for Super Bowl 42. She had a smile. It wasn't a happy-go-lucky smile. It was just a radiant smile which depicted elegance and confidence and reassurance. And that picture resonates with me when I think about Judy, because my family put together a bunch of pictures when Judy passed away so that we would have it at our celebration for life for Judy. And there were a number of pictures, but this one picture always resonates with me when I think about, the sacrifices that she made so that I could coach. Because let's face it, she raised 4 children. She kept pretty much everything away from me that would distract from my job. and she did it in the best of ways. And so that allowed me that picture to combine, because she's as important a reason that we won that Super Bowl as anybody who had anything to do with that team. And I recognize that in her.
And that beautiful quote, she took care of you for 50 years, you took care of her for 5. I thought that was really touching.
That's right. That's exactly what the story was.
What are 3 things that bring you the most joy in life?
Family Football Foundation.
Do you have a favorite quote?
One that always was there: individuals play the game, teams win championships. That's all there is to it.
We're unfortunately at the last question number 31. I think I'm asking because what do I want to know? I think everyone wants to know. Who would you want to play you in the Tom Coughlin biopic feature film? Who's it going to be?
Tom Hanks, I think.
Well, I had $10 on Ed Harris or Matt Damon.
Matt Damon would be a pretty good choice too.
I can see it. I can totally see it. Well, Coach, thank you so much. Congratulations on receiving such an amazing award.
I'm excited because I've always heard, when we're coaching over in New Jersey, obviously, the strong Boston College element that exists in Manhattan, in the city. And so I'm looking forward to, visiting with a lot of friends that I have over the years that are Boston College graduates, and it'll be a wonderful evening.
It's going to be a lot of nostalgic memory retelling. And the thing that I love about the campus is, and the alums and the alumni network, is that it feels like Boston College alums take care of each other in a very different way. And I think that speaks a lot to the community and these ideals that we've been immersed in our time as students. So
I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah,
I think there's a bond, and there's a loyalty to one another, and there's a loyalty to the university that is very difficult to match, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, have an epic evening. Congratulations once again, and look forward to seeing where things go for you next. Hopefully the XFL if we're lucky, but I don't think so.
I don't think so.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach Tom.
All right, Joe. Thank you.